Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As promised, this is the follow-up video to the update that Master Duel just had. Floowandereeze and Brave are such impactful archetypes, and I think it's good if players who play Master Duel are a bit more prepared for just how to interact with the decks and what to expect. We won't waste any time. We'll get straight into it. I'm going to start with Dimension Shifter. This is a card that is a complete turn ender for most, if not all, combo decks. When someone resolves this, it's very hard to play around it. And personally, I think it's an extremely unfair card. The fact it's a quick effect, which means going second, you can resolve this and basically end your opponent's turn, because every card that will go grave for the current turn and the next turn is banished instead. Because of the way it's worded, it also shuts down Forbidden Droplets, it shuts down Effect Veiler, and it shuts down Droll and Lockbird. Now, two of those cards I mentioned, the last two, Veiler and Droll and Lockbird, they're really powerful counters to Floowandereeze. With that being said, I think Imperm is going to be even more popular than Effect Veiler. So next we'll move on to the actual Flunder cards. I can probably evaluate Eaglin and Robina at the same time. Robina on normal summon searches a level 4 lower wind monster, which 99% of the time, if they don't have the Eaglin already, is going to be the Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds. And the reason why this is scary is Stormwinds, another, again, completely unfair card that is very easily summoned, can lock everyone out of special summoning non-wind monsters. Eaglin will search a level 7 or higher winged beast monster when it's normal summoned, and that can usually spell out either Mega Riser, which is actually a rare card. I'm surprised, I thought it'd be a super rare. But Mega Riser itself, these are one of the boss monsters of the deck. It can shuffle and spin cards from the field on top of the deck, and that's a already powerful mechanic that is actually quite rare in terms of what boss monsters usually do. So, the fact Riser contribute over 2 wins and gain a 3rd bounce makes the card even more detrimental to the opponent. And then the other level 7 or higher monster you run is Mist Valley Apex Avian. So this card is essentially an Omni Negate, but you have to return the target to hand. So it's again, it's just one of the cards that solidifies why Floowandereeze is one of the best decks in the game. Most Floowandereeze players will not run Snowed. They'll actually just run Imperm because it's so efficient and powerful. It's essentially a floodgate that stops all effect monsters from resolving if they're in attack position, which, I mean, if you've seen what link monsters are, they can literally only exist in attack position. And despite me mentioning a few different boss monsters, they can somehow get all of them out on the board within one normal summon. So I think, the phrase people use for this deck is one normal summon, like 3-4 disruptions on the opponent's turn. It's really scary stuff. Yeah, let's talk about some interactions that Brave introduces into the game. I mentioned Ghost Ogre, and it's actually the best way to take down the Griffin, because Griffin has to actually go back into the deck in order to negate and resolve, as well as the Faithful Adventure, the continuous spell that Rites of Aramese places from the deck into the spell and trap card zone. If you Ghost Ogre the search ability that Faithful Adventure does to search a adventure monster, Ogre will shut that down. If you remember, continuous spells, field spells need to remain face up in order to completely resolve. So if you Ogre it, it won't resolve, and that you've just shut down an Omni Negate because they haven't been able to search their Griffin. If they already have their Griffin and let's say it's negating something, chaining 3 your Ghost Ogre is going to destroy the Griffin and it won't negate because it didn't go to the deck. I think Ogre is actually going to be the most prevalent hand trap going forward. Some other cards, so with Brave coming into the meta, I did talk about Crossout losing favor, but I think it's also going to be popular at the same time. The fact you can activate Crossout, declare Rav Aramese, and shut down your opponent's attempt to bring out the Griffin is really strong. And cards like Imperm and Ash, they also shut down the Brave engine. The place where you want to resolve Imperm is, again, Chainlink 3 to negate the Griffin effect to shuffle back. A very popular combo that people use to break boards. If, let's say, you activate Nibiru to wipe the field, the Griffin negate, you Chainlink 3 Imperm, you've negated their Griffin, and Nibiru resolve, taking out everything. So that's a very popular combo, and I think with the Brave package in the game, you're going to see a lot more of that. Ash Blossom is probably the best hand trap in the game, even in the TCG and OCG. It's always been run at 3 in most decks. The Faithful Adventure can search a equip spell and a monster. Just make sure you're negating the monster search, because that's usually their Griffin. The fact the Adventure package has to search 2 to 3 times just to get their Omni Negate means Droll and Lockbird is really powerful against that strategy. So just remember that and keep that in mind. Droll and Lockbird is a super rare, it's really easy to craft. And some other noteworthy interactions thanks to the Adventure package is the introduction of the Rose Dragon package, as well as the based / power decks. These are interesting mashup of very good cards in the game that just work really well together. Thanks to Griffin being a level 7, having the level 3 Rose Dragon Tuner, you just make Baron. Basil Rose Shoot specials the second Rose Dragon counterpart, which again is another level 3 tuner, and you use that and the token, make Yazi. Yazi goes into Meh, and you end up making a crazy board full of like 4 to 5 plus disruptions, as well as Herald of the Arclight. So, you know, it's a really, really scary board, and I think is something we're going to have to just get used to. As soon as players catch on that it's one of the strongest decks in the game, people are going to have a rough time, because it can also bring out Artifact Scythe, a card that has, you know, more or less plagued the last two and the current meta of Yu-Gi-Oh! Scythe is a card that locks your opponent out from special summon from the extra deck. I hope Konami does something about this interaction going forward, but until we get that ban list, we're just going to have to deal with this crazy Scythe plus 4/5 disruption boards. But one thing I'd like to add to that is, you know, having those hand traps will stop a lot of these cards from resolving. Some of the choke points of the adventure package, if I haven't highlighted it already, again, are the Ogre and the Ash on the Fateful Adventure. Just make sure you time it on the right interaction. Imperm on the Griffin, Veiler on the Griffin. And one card I didn't mention, which is really good, and I think is a healthy card that the adventure package actually introduces, is Dracoback. It's a once per turn bounce, and you can bounce floodgates. So, you know, decks like Eldritch might start losing popularity simply because Dracoback will bounce any problem floodgate. It can also bounce cards like Kaiser Colosseum, and really just, you know, give you an easy time going second. Going first, it's not bad. It's a card you discard after searching the Brave monster, and then when discarded, it equips to a token. So there's a really nice way that it resolves within the adventure package. Okay guys, so I just summarized both of the archetypes that we got in this new selection pack, you know, Floowandereeze and Adventure, and I think they're going to drastically affect the ranked meta right now in Master Duel. Of course, you know, we have a huge range of decks, but unfortunately Dimension Shifter really does just shut down most of the strategies that are attempting to play in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then on the other hand, we've got an extreme where, you know, our combo is quite long, it's quite powerful, and you end on 45 disruptions. You always have an Omni Negate on board, and you essentially say no to Nibiru. And I think Droll, again, Droll and Ogre and Ash, Imperm, Veiler, these seem to be like the most influential hand traps going forward. I want to include Nibiru in there as well, but I just can't put it in there because Flunder exists, and in my opinion, I think Flunder is going to be a really popular deck. So yeah guys, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like if you liked the video. If there's anything I missed in terms of interactions, let me know in the comments. What are your takes on the meta going forward? Are you thinking of playing Flunder? Are you thinking of using the Brave package? What deck are you going to use that Brave package on? Let me know in the comments. So again guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next videos. I'm going to be doing an update to my Sun Avalon Zero to Hero series. You know, I went to another locals just recently and I did really well. I'm really happy with how I performed. I've changed the deck quite a bit, so, you know, expect that video coming soon. And yeah guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.